Alright, hope everybody is hearing me properly, hope the stream is working again. This is very much resembling the exact same thing that happened last week. What looked like a YouTube issue seems to have happened again exactly a week later. Last week it was also just over an hour or around an hour or so in the stream that it happened. The timing is almost exactly the same. No issues here. Internet connection working, topped up my data, everything is working, everything is charged, so not sure what is going on, but we're back, hopefully to stay. E2 Umbrella 195 going to Hamburg. KLM flight 1779. The airplane a year old, first flight March 2022. Now, hey Bart, don't know what happened, but this is almost to the minute a week ago. It is almost a week later to the minute. I'm thinking YouTube is effing up something. Never had this before. All the while, everything rock solid, stable. Ryanair, flight 421, 737-800 going to Dublin. 13-year-old airplane, first flight November 2009. Well, good morning, one and all those who have come back. Hopefully no more issues for the remainder of the stream. Delta Airlines flight 135, Airbus A330 going to Detroit. A 20-year-old airplane, first flight January 2003. And designs by Jensen, confirming that other live stream channels also have issues. So YouTube is basically effing up. Thank you, YouTube. Hopefully no more interruptions. And back to the business at hand. Right. Let's have a look. This is a Boeing 737-800 KLM flight 1109 going to Stockholm. Ten-year-old airplane, first flight May 2013. Hey there, Swamp Fuel, thank you so much for joining. Evan, what's up, my man? Doing alright. Bit annoyed by what happened just now with YouTube and the connection. Exactly the same as what happened last week, exactly a week ago. Even to almost to the minute. Not much has changed in the meantime. Still parallel departures. Seeing a big bird take off from center in the meantime. But there is a queue forming over here as well. A320 from EasyJet to Manchester in the background. KLM to London Heathrow behind it. Well, Evan, this is the best choice if you want to fall asleep nicely. The calming and relaxing background of airplanes taking off is exactly the white noise you need to soundly fall asleep. The next airplane is already spooling up and coming our way. As I said, it is going to Manchester, A320, EasyJet flight 22162. 11-year-old airplane, first flight March 2012. Old school sounds. What's funny is that the wind is picking up a little bit, and with the sun behind the clouds, standing here in my t-shirt, it is, dare I say, it's starting to get a little chilly, so I might have to resort to putting on my vest again. Seems like the slab of concrete has become a bit more crowded. Am I counting 3 birds huddled up together there? I think there, or were it 2? Was it just 2? KLM flight 1009 on its way to London Heathrow, Boeing 737-800. 15 years old, first flight was in April 2008. And you're right, Evan, it was a technical issue. It happened at almost exactly the same moment as last week, and I never once had connection issues when everything was still operational. The only thing I have experienced connection issues was when I forgot to charge something or to attach charging cables to something, but everything was still a-okay over here. Nothing, I didn't touch anything. The only thing I did was make a new stream, start it up. There you go. Hopefully this will not become a weekly occurrence, otherwise I will have to start my Friday morning streams later. A320 going to Bristol. Marissa informing us that center looks to be closed. That is good news. Hopefully it's going to stay that way for a while. We're still waiting for that A340 to Paramaribo, and Are we going to see more 747s? Maybe not, not sure. This is KLM flight 755, 777-200 going to Quito. 16-year-old airplane, first flight January 2007. She's climbing nicely. The big overview. Now looking to the north, you do see some patches of blue. Also looking to the west, some patches of blue sky. Looking directly to the east, it looks overcast. However, looking a little bit more to the south, you do see that it is open a little bit. So it's on and off a little bit between overcast conditions and somewhat more open conditions. In the meantime, thank you so much, Evan, for your PayPal donation. Just got a notification of a nice PayPal donation from Evan Rodriguez. Thank you so much, mate. Boeing 737-700 on its way to Aberdeen. Spooling up. KLM flight 1443. This airplane is 14 years old. First flight was in March 2009. Arjen is informing us that the A340 has just started its taxi, so it is coming our way. Surinam Airways on its way to Paramaribo, the slowest climber in the game. Here is its sibling, the A330. And next up, a Dreamliner. Air Europa going back to Madrid, 7879 Dreamliner, flight 1098. The airplane is 4 years old, first flight May 2019. Debbie Ann says, hello, my name's Debbie, give me a shout. Well, shout to you then, Debbie. Welcome to the show. Now, And yes, indeed, Sander, we do have 5 new mods over here, keeping order insofar as that is necessary. In the meantime, Owen, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, my friend. Next up, A330 200 to Kigali. This airplane is 17 years old. Its first flight was in October 2005. And as you guys can see, the sun is starting to come out from behind the clouds once again. Another loud one. Climb rate not too bad. However, when that A340 is taking off, and that is going to happen soon, let's have a look and see how high it is up in the sky around this time. I think we will see a difference. Next up, KLM flight 1855. It is an Embraer 190 going to Düsseldorf. It is 11 years old. Its first flight was in January 2012, and after that A340 time. Now, this airplane is going to Düsseldorf, probably not going to be very heavily loaded, also not a lot of fuel on board. Düsseldorf, relatively nearby, one of the nearest by destinations outside of the country borders. So I'm expecting a quick rotation and a steep climb. Let's see if it is doing that or not. We'll do that. Wow, quick rotation part, check. The climbing part, check. It feels like I'm standing next to the Kaagbaan with the airplane so high already. Had to crouch in order to be able to see the camera screen. Let me zoom out, show you guys the difference. Boom. Significant difference, and keep this picture in mind and compare that with what is coming up next. The most severely underpowered airplane in the game, the A340. It is the 300 Surinam Airways flight 993 going to Paramaribo, A340-300. In the meantime, I am receiving another PayPal notification from Nikolai Jensen, who also was so kind to donate a generous super chat PayPal donation. Thank you so much for that, my friend. Appreciate it. Hope you're watching this, hearing me. Thank you. This is an A340-300, 15 years old, first flight April 2008. 100 feet. 110 feet. 120 feet. Fine. You get the idea. Big picture. Compare that with where the little Embraer was already. Okay, it is going into the clouds, so it is high enough to be going into the clouds already. Right. Now, let's have a look at its sibling, its smaller sibling, the A330-300, Delta Airlines Flight 161, going to Minneapolis. This airplane is 16 years old, first flight December 2006, coming our way. Let's see how it does compared with the A340. And if you guys like A330s, behind it is another A330 coming up next, going to Seattle. Even though they do look like they're mimicking the A340, it is already higher and climbing faster. Gear already retracted, how about that? And we can still see the airplane. However, you can see the cloud base is over there. It is starting to go into the clouds already, which is typical because over here it is already open, but exactly in the flight path it still isn't. Hopefully that will change soon. Hey there Belinda, goedemorgen. Thank you so much for your kind words. Yorkshire, good morning mate. Good to see you, hope all is well. Were you in time to see the A340 or were you just too late? This is Delta Airlines Flight 143, yet another Delta A330-300, this one going to Seattle, 7-year-old airplane, first flight June 2016. That definitely did not disappoint in the volume department. Then the gear is retracting. If you heard something odd, there was a truck passing on the cycling path simultaneously. So you might have picked up on that while this airplane passed by. Hey Jorrit, goedemorgen. New here. Welcome to the show, mate. Hope everybody is having a good time. Those of you who have found the channel again after the connection issue we once again experienced, similar to last week, exactly on a Friday as well. In the morning, an hour in, the same thing happened. Apparently another YouTube issue. This is the first CRJ of the day. SAS going to Copenhagen. In its wake are two heavies by the looks of it, or are they? No, yes. Delta A330, think they are already behind the fire. Oh no, there they are. A330, yet another Delta A330. American Airlines Dreamliner to Philadelphia. 777 to Johannesburg, also coming our way. Morning Droogbier, goedemorgen. Ah, you missed the A340 Yorkshire. Pity, but it was just before the A330s. Ah, Jorrit staat naast me. Hey, goedemorgen. Leuk, welkom. So even though it is very quiet over here in general sense, there's a few people on the bench, but I also have a live audience. Still quiet, although looking at the fence of the parking place of the main Spottersplaats, you do see a lot of people already gathered. So it will be a matter of time before they are all going to wander off and start coming this way. Melissa informing us that the Singapore A350 has been pushed back. That is good news. We saw it yesterday as well from the Polderbaan. Here we have the first CRJ of the day going to Copenhagen from SAS. Flight 552. This airplane is 7 years old. First flight was in April 2016. Hey there, Carl. Good morning. The bugs are alright, Sander. It's not too bad. A fly here or there, but not too many. Definitely not the beetles that were there when you and I were standing here together. Luckily. Hey there, Jeffrey. First time on the stream. Wow, yeah. Welcome to the show, man. Carl, good morning. Hope everybody is doing well. Now, next up, yet another Delta A330, Delta Airlines Flight 179 going to Portland, Oregon. The airplane is 6 years old. Its first flight was in March 2017. And hey there, John Hakom. Good morning. Welcome to the show. En Hans, Toby en Jorrit zijn al weggefietst. They are already further up the road. No longer standing next to me. Not sure if they are hearing it. Next up, American Airlines Flight 203, Boeing 787-8 going to Philadelphia. The airplane is 7 years old. First flight was in January 2016. Hey there, Rifat. Goedemorgen. Good morning. So, overall picture, looking to the west, looking to the north. The wind starts to pick up a little bit by the looks of it. And this is what I was referring to earlier. They do check if you're standing still. It's always a risk. More clouds over to the south still. And that is a 777 spooling up, coming our way, going to Johannesburg. KLM Flight 591. Boeing 777-300ER. It is 7 years old. First flight was in February 2016. Hey there Guy, good morning. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope all is well over there in Luxembourg. It is getting somewhat busy over here. How about that? Delta Airlines Flight 47, Airbus A330-300 going to New York JFK, 8-year-old airplane, first flight January 2015. Right. We'll have to wait a little bit after the next departure. No immediate queue, but undoubtedly more will come next. First up is going to be this airplane, Air France Flight 1341, Airbus A321 going to Paris Charles de Gaulle, so that is about 45 minutes of flying. The airplane is 25 years old. Its first flight was in January 1998. There was a little bit of activity in the water just now. As soon as you have an inkling of pointing a camera towards birds in the water, they typically flee. There are two birds. I'm not yet sure if they're coots or if they're ducks, but there are two over there. Meanwhile, on the slab of concrete, not much has changed, although one has decided to sit down. There is another bird in the water over there. That is the grebe. It probably hasn't seen that I have pointed the camera towards it because it is still above water. Not exactly sure how long that's going to be the case. Savor the moment. In the meantime, Parallel Jordy says hello. Bethan, hi to you too. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime. Arma Glinchy, good morning to you too, my friend. Hope all is well. You're watching Departures on AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is the Polderbaan, runway 36 left. And we're waiting for the next traffic to come our way. Now the next airplane coming this way is a beaut. Singapore Airlines A350 on its way to Singapore via the Polderbaan. We also were lucky to see it take off in front of us yesterday. And we are going to see it taxi over here soon. I think at the moment this is the only runway in use for departures, or have they switched to parallel departures already? It has been a bit on and off. Let's have a look at LVNL. What does it say right now? Okay, so it says this is the only runway for departures, and 36 left and 06 are indeed used for arrival. So let me remove 36C from the ticker. And as the Singapore Airlines A350 is coming our way, let me also have a look at the latest weather. Update the ticker, take you through it. We now have the time to do so. Not everybody knows what exactly those letters and numbers mean that the ticker starts out with, and it is the weather. If you know what it says, it can be quite informative. The things that are passing by right now, I'm going to update it. It will reload the ticker. There we go. Let me also point the camera to where the Singapore Airlines airplane is taxiing. So this, what you see in the ticker right now, is the latest weather. AHAM being Schiphol Airport, AMS and EHAM are both international airport codes for Schiphol Airport. Wind is blowing from 070 with 7 knots. That's the first part. Back to the camera. After that, it says that the wind's direction is variable between 030 and 110 degrees. The 4 nines means visibility is 10 kilometers or more. It then says something about the clouds. Few clouds at 1,100 feet. Scattered clouds at 1,500 feet. The air temperature has increased to 20 degrees Celsius already. The dew point is 17 degrees Celsius. The air pressure is 1,017 hectopascals, and no significant changes in the weather are expected in the upcoming 2 hours. In the meantime, Singapore Airlines Flight 323 has arrived at the runway threshold, lining up, going to Singapore in a minute. The airplane we're looking at, 5 years old, first flight December 2017. And Marissa is informing us that a China Airlines A350 is also being pushed back at the moment. With the current runway configuration, it is going to depart from this runway, so fingers crossed that it's going to stay that way for many more minutes or possibly even hours to come. Lights are going on. And the spooling up has begun. Magnificent airplane, beautiful livery, beautiful sound. Climbing relatively steeply. Encountering some clouds and now entering the clouds. So yeah, it is still cloudy in that part of the sky. We do see some patches of blue here and there, but there are definitely also some clouds still around. In the general sense, it is still almost fully overcast. We have some patches of blue here and there. We have had some more open moments, but there's not a persisting trend of getting more sunshine just yet. Alvin, thank you so much for your super sticker, a red hand pointing up. Really, you shouldn't have to, but thank you nonetheless, amigo. This is Lufthansa, flight 2303, Airbus A320, going to Munich. Airplane 9 years old, first flight was in January of the year 2014. Now, for the fact that this is the only runway in use for departures, it is an awfully quiet morning. We have a Grebe in the zebra livery. probably hasn't seen that I have pointed the camera towards it. Swimming so calmly. Normally they are camera shy. Right, Marissa is informing us that that beautiful light blue special livery from British Airways is taxiing. Hopefully it is not going to be so lightly loaded that it is already quite high up in the sky when it passes us by. To say it in rhyme form. We're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. In the meantime, PayPal is doing overtime. Another notification from Anne. Thank you so much, Anne, for your donation. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much for that. It is busy on the platform. Outbound traffic is on the move, but it isn't in the vicinity just yet. Also not on the move are these ducks. Really serene right now. You wouldn't think that this is one of the busiest airports in Europe. Being here, very zen. Interesting how their paws are, or fins, or whatever you call them, how their anatomy works. We are seeing movement of airplanes coming our way. Still crossing the center runway, so that is good news, meaning that the center is still closed. Or maybe not open yet, because I'm also seeing airplanes such as the A350 to Taipei that is moving to the south, and there's also a Corendon Airlines to Hurghada that is looking to be on the taxiway leading to runway 36 center. So let me go back to the ticker and update that already, because it will mean that departures will once again take place from 36 center in a moment. Right. The next airplanes are becoming visible in the distance. A320neo to Oslo from SAS. Dreamliner from Tui to Curaçao. Another A320 to London coming next. The first airplane taking off from the center runway. In the meantime, Corendon, Airlines. And after that, we will see the A350 to Taipei. So Dreamliner. Ah, there it is. And the SAS Neo. Meanwhile. Hey Ralf, goedemorgen. Jordi, goedemorgen. China Airlines Flight 74 is lining up on center. So let's have a look at its departure. I think we should be able to see it pass by. Right, there it is. It's already further up. There we go. So this would be China Airlines Flight 74, Airbus A350-900 going to Taipei. 6-year-old airplane, first flight October 2016. You can see that the cloud base is still very low on in that part of the sky. Meanwhile, also the Neo taking off from this runway, SCS. SCS Flight 822, Airbus A320neo going to Oslo. Brand new airplane, first flight was in February 2023. Now quickly turn around the camera. The Dreamliner to Curaçao is already lined up. This is TUI Flight 379, Boeing 787-8, going to Curaçao to Willemstad. It is a 9-year-old airplane. First flight was in November 2013. Two more airplanes coming this way. A320neo from British Airways to London Heathrow, followed by an E2 Embraer 195 going to Billund. Royal Amarok to Nador is lined up on center, and United 21 to Houston has just turned around the southern threshold of center. Captain Eddie Boos, good to see you again, mate. And indeed, Melissa, this is a Dreamliner with a Belgian registration. Now, 2 airplanes coming to the runway, visible already in the distance. Looks like the E2 is going ahead. Will it be going to the runway threshold or not? It looks like it might go to the threshold. Yeah. Has taken the left-hand turn. Why is that British Airways Neo standing still there? Or is it moving? Hard to see from over here. It's crouching forward, ever so slowly by the looks of it. No, it looks like it's standing still.
Je doet het wel leuk.
Dankjewel.
Ja. Je maakt daar weer al werk van.
Zeker, zeker.
Waar gebruik je ervoor?
Dit is live. Als je nu op YouTube kijkt, dan kun je live meekijken van over de hele wereld.
Oké. Ik heb nog iets wat ik je wil laten zien.
Oké, wow.
Voor je linkerscherm.
Ik ben op dit moment wel bezig.
Ja, nee, gelijk.
Oh, oké. Oké. So the E2 Embraer 195 has lined up KLM flight 1345 and E2 Embraer 195 going to Billund. It is a brand new airplane. First flight of this airplane was in January 2023. Well, and that A320 keeps on holding. Not entirely sure what is going on there. Maybe they are getting an error or something. The next airplane coming this way is a 777-200 to Houston, Texas from United. So it will probably overtake this airplane unless it starts taxiing soon. We'll have to see.
Kijk, die persoonscamera.
Ja.
Hetzelfde als kennen we zo'n beetje.
Ja.
En dat doe je om je dingetje.
Om het scherm.
En dan ben je die weerspiegeling kwijt.
Dan heb je weerspiegeling.
Want dat is heel lastig is het.
Eens even kijken of dat past. Oh ja. Hey, dat is mooi.
Ja, hè?
Waar koop je zoiets?
Camera Express.
Mooi, hoe heet zoiets?
En ben je Haarlemmer of niet?
Lisser. Maar ik weet de winkels te vinden.
Oh ja. Nou, in Haarlem heb je de Leeuw. En die heb het ook.
Ga ik wel...
Het makkelijkste is in Amsterdam gewoon bij camera Express.
Kan het ook gewoon online bestellen?
Ja, dat kan ook, ja.
Dat is een goeie. Dat is handig.
Ja,
met het zonnetje is het soms lastig.
Mooie microfoons gebruikt.
Zeker.
Is dit ook een Sennheisertje? Ja.
Nee, dat is DJI mic.
Oh.
Draadloos, gaat naar de computer dan.
Ja. En want ik heb zo'n pijp heb ik hier. Voor Sennheiser.
Oh ja?
Ja, ik heb vroeger deed ik vele bruiloften. Ik heb 372 bruiloften gevuld.
Oh, mooi.
Ja, dan kon je wat verdienen. Dan
leuk.
Apparatuur verkopen.
Ja.
Wat is dit een oliegedempte...
Ja. Dit is een fluid head inderdaad. Met instelbare weerstanden. Klopt.
Ja, mooi.
Ja, zeker.
Ja, want ik wil ook nog andere gaan kopen.
Sachtler is beter dan Manfrotto.
Ja?
Absoluut, ja. Je moet het eens een keertje proberen in de winkel. Maar dit is wel... dit wordt ook in de filmindustrie gebruikt.
En ik
Dit
zie
is...
ook dat je elastiekje
Zeker, zeker. Ja, kwaliteit voor alles, hè?
Ja, je maakt het veel mooier pakken zo.
Absoluut, absoluut. Ja, moet niet te hard waaien, dan gaat het nog steeds lastig, maar...
Ja, dat is zo.
Alright, so a private jet that I'm not seeing on flight radar is going first apparently. Looks like it is going to the runway threshold. And in the meantime, for those who didn't understand Dutch, there is a guy standing next to me who wanted to show me a handy tool for reducing the reflection of the sun when I'm standing out here for my camera. And the man has done shoots for, how many was it? Hundreds of marriages, so also a film buff. Giving me some pointers and also talking a bit about the tripods that we are using. Okay, so Anne is saying that this is a Bombardier Global 6000 coming our way. I still have my filter on outbound AMS, so I'm not sure where this is going to. But it is coming our way. Meanwhile, the 777 is lining up while the A320neo is still standing still. So why that is, don't know. In the meantime, K2, the bird control vehicle in the Raptor Ranger, also coming here to do some chasing away of birds. Let us quickly go back to the runway threshold where United Airlines Flight 21 in the Star Alliance livery is pulling up, going to Houston, Texas. Fijne dag hè? 777-200 ER, this airplane, 13 years old, first flight April 2010. Hey Jeroen, goedemorgen. Alles lekker jongen? Right. Now that A320neo is still standing still over there. Is anybody listening in on ATC by any chance? And has anybody picked up what might be going on over there? Not exactly sure what's going on. There is another. Is that? Yeah. another speed bird to London Heathrow is already coming up behind it. So we have a speed bird. Is this a special livery? It is. Of all the airplanes, it is the BA Better World special livery that is standing still there. That's not good advertisement for British Airways. Yeah, this is not indeed nothing speed about it. Slow bird, flight 437, A320neo. And indeed, it is a better world. If they took it literally, they think better world, less emissions, let's stop. Oh, it is moving now. The pilots were giving a heads up that another company plane was already behind them. Now hopefully it hasn't burned so much fuel already standing still there that it is so light that it is already high up in the sky once it passes over here. Designs by Jensen says that the BA was waiting for a new slot to London Heathrow. Interesting. Hey Lars, bedankt voor de mooie woorden. Thank you so much, my friend. We'll definitely keep on doing what I'm doing. Hopefully next Friday without any connection interruptions by effing YouTube with their... Anyway, Slowbird flight 437 A320neo going to London Heathrow in the Better World livery. Also going to the runway threshold. Which I'd rather not seen. It increases the likelihood that it is already quite high up in the sky once it passes by. Right, so she's coming our way. This airplane is 5 years old. First flight was in March 2018. Captain Eddie Bos, good night, my friend. Hope to see you again soon, mate. Take care. BA in the special livery going to London Heathrow. A320neo. Well, unfortunately, it passed by higher than I would have liked, but not much you can do about it. From what I could see, it looked nice. You guys probably saw it better as I was watching it on a 3-inch screen with reflections. Now the next airplane is also going to London Heathrow. A319. However, behind it is a bigger bird. Will also show its face in a minute. Gives me some time to say thank you to Lars for your super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate it. Let's have a look at the A319. Also has taken a left-hand turn going to the runway threshold. Indeed, Anne, an exodus of the English. They're done. Going back. United will be next after the A319. Going to Chicago. Another Dreamliner. My word, they are taking their time today, aren't they? Alrighty, lined up in the distance is Speedbird Flight 431, Airbus A319, destination London Heathrow. The airplane is 22 years old, its first flight was in May 2001. Hey Mats, good to see you again mate, hope all is well. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime, welcome as well. You're watching departures over here at AMS Live. We're standing next to the Polderbaan, runway 36 left. Currently one of the two runways being used for departures. Wind mostly from the east, a little bit northeast-ish. Expected to get more southerly as the day progresses, which is why today the filming takes place over here, hedging my risk, so to speak, for the eventuality that the runway usage would be switched to arrivals. Now next up is going to be United Airlines Flight 908. It is a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner going to Chicago O'Hare in a minute. The airplane is 10 years old, its first flight was in December 2012. And indeed, as Marissa was saying, two Embraer 175s following this airplane, and after that a Finnair A330. Hey there Yin, good morning. Good to see you again, mon ami. We are awaiting the arrival of the first of the two Embraer 175s. Mrs. Professor says bedtime has come quickly tonight. Thank you so much for joining again, Mrs. Professor, and sleep tight and hopefully see you again soon. Looking to see the pipeline. The second Embraer 175 is following and not yet visible, but soon will be, a Finnair A330. Also coming our way is a 777-200 to YYZ, so that is Toronto. Have I started? Yeah. There is the A330 from Finnair. We have had some sunshine earlier. Momentarily it is mostly overcast once again. This is looking to the east. This is looking to the north. This would be looking to the west. Here and there a few small patches of blue sky, but it is mostly overcast right now. Hey there Andrew, morning mate, good to see you, hope all is well. Wayne Merriman, good morning mate. Good morning to you too. And Rob says that various weather warnings were issued across Ireland and the UK today. There was also quite severe rainfall in parts of Germany yesterday, I saw on the news. So not yet much stable summer weather over in Europe. This is KLM flight 1157, Embraer 175 going to Gothenburg. This airplane is 5 years old. Its first flight was in January 2018. Parallel departures still in progress, as you guys can see. More Embraers taking off from the center runway as well right now. In the meantime, the Finnair A330 has arrived on the scene over here. And over at the other side of the runway, KLM flight 9960 ready to go to Aarhus. Another Embraer 175, this one 7 years old, first flight July 2016. In the meantime, it has become a bit more busy over here in terms of visitors besides the runway. Alrighty, Josegi, it's been a while. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope all is well over there in Kenya, in Nairobi, wasn't it? Good to see you, my friend. This is Finnair flight 1302, Airbus A330-300 going to Helsinki. And Marissa also announcing her departure. Finnair will be the last plane for her for today. Well, let's hope it's going to be a good one. It is an A330, so it has the potential to be loud. Let's see if it lives up to that. So this A330-300 on its way to Helsinki, 14 years old. First flight was in April 2009. Well, that definitely didn't sound like an E2 Embraer or an A220. So thank you for joining, Marissa. Enjoy the rest of your day, and if we don't catch up earlier, enjoy the rest of your weekend as well already. Airplanes coming this way. I think that was a Delta A330 that was taxiing south to go around the center runway. That is an Embraer 190 to Belgrade, I think. No, BGO Bergen. That would be KLM flight 691, 777-200 to Toronto. And in the meantime, on this side of the area, the platform area, we already have our first next airplane. And yes, it is another Embraer. If you are an Embraer enthusiast, this is this is your airport. Not a stream goes by without a flood of Embraer 175s and 190s. You can see, if you look to the angle and the size of the winglets, you can immediately see that this is an Embraer 175. More outwardly oriented and relatively bigger than those on the Embraer 190. This is KLM flight 1145 going to Oslo. It is a 6-year-old airplane that had its first flight in January 2017. Meanwhile, the 777 has arrived on this side. The Embraer as well, which will probably precede the 777. Saves waiting for the wake turbulence of the bigger bird. There's a Delta A330 to Boston also coming this way. Looks like a turn and burn for the Embraer. Going to Bergen, KLM flight 1187. 14-year-old airplane, first flight July 2009. Right. More Embraers. Well, insofar as they are visible before entering the clouds. I think there is a bird control vehicle over there as well. Yeah. However, let us quickly go back to the action at hand. Lined up is KLM flight 691 going to Toronto in a few seconds. It is a 777-200 ER. The airplane is 17 years old. Its first flight April 2006. Hey, Epic Melon Fruit. Goedemorgen. Good to see you. Right. K2 on patrol. So if you like off-roading and setting off fireworks and you don't mind working evenings or weekends, this might be the job for you. Alright, what are they looking at? Are they picking up tin cans or something? Not exactly sure what they're doing there, but no, this doesn't look like a toilet break, does it? But you're right, last time I was standing next to the Kaagbaan and someone got out of their vehicle, it was to take a piss. New one A330 has arrived on the scene over here, and in the foreground everything in Ducktown is still quiet and chill. Hey Ricardo, goedemiddag. Welcome one and all. The next airplane to take off has the potential to be another loud one. Delta Airlines going to Boston, flight 259. One of their many A330-300s, this one being 16 years old. First flight was in July 2007. I'm doing the best I can, Rinus. Doing a sun dance to open things up, but you're absolutely right. It has become fully overcast once again. Then again, it's not so warm. Wow, that definitely was loud over here in real life. Not sure if you guys heard that as well. Looks like a wedding dress livery has arrived on the scene over there. A320 from Smartlinks flying for SAS. Going to Stockholm, flight 556. 8-year-old airplane, first flight October 2014. Oh, and we have, of course, someone skipping the line. Going to Dublin, Ireland, KLM flight 935, Embraer 190, 11-year-old airplane. First flight January 2012. Here it comes. Ah, it's also almost playtime, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, there was a fly on my glasses. Also wanted to have a look on the other side where my eyes were. Before playtime begins, SmartLynx to Stockholm. Flight 556 flying for SAS. SmartLynx, all white, 8-year-old airplane. First flight October 2014. Alright. I was standing on one of my cables. I was wondering why my tripod was so jittery all of a sudden. Playtime, ladies and gentlemen. Going back to Reykjavik, flight 461, A320neo. Brand new airplane, almost a year old. First flight was in October last year. Was there also a 747 expected to depart around this time? Obviously, if that were the case, it probably wouldn't come to this runway, but just out of curiosity. All 747 cancelled. Okay, well in that case, that's all the time we've got left. Oh, the kite! They're the ones also operating that kite that you sometimes see in the background. Now, there are a couple of birds coming this way. First up, China Southern Cargo, 777, followed by an A330 from Delta to Atlanta, and two more narrow bodies are coming after that. Oh, did something wrong on flight radar. Now I am over Blackpool. Accidentally pressed the most followed flights, and apparently there was a fighter jet flying in the vicinity of Blackpool that camera now flight radar honed in on. Right, back to the action. The 777 is coming. So whatever the bird controllers are doing over there, we'll leave it be. Our next airplane is approaching. China Southern Cargo. 777 to Guangzhou. 777 freighter, 13 years old. First flight was in August 2009. Was also having a look on flight radar to see if any 747s had become active, but thus far that's not the case. Dan moet je naar YouTube gaan en dan moet je zoeken op AMS Live, wat hier bovenop ook staat. Ja, maar dan moet je op YouTube. Ik heb geen kaartje. Nee.
Iets waar het op is.
Ik heb geen papier bij me, sorry. Nee.
AMS?
Ja.
AMS?
Live. Als je op YouTube Schiphol live intoetst, dan kom je ook vaak al dingen van mij tegen.
Okay.
Als je dit icoontje onthoudt, dan kun je het zo vinden.
Hoe heet jij dan?
Boy.
Boy?
Ja.
Oké. Ik ga kijken.
Is goed, leuk. Doeg. Camera Express, ik heb hem onthouden, dankjewel. China Southern Cargo to Guangzhou is rolling. Oh. Right, 777 freighter on its way to China. 13 years old already. First flight was in August 2009. Now, as Qatar is taking off from center, Delta is taking off from Polderban. Loud already. Going to Atlanta, Georgia. Delta Flight 73, A330-300. This beauty is 19 years old. First flight was in March 2004. We have a little bit of a queue forming, including this one. 3 aircraft are now lined up, all narrow bodies again. This is KLM flight 1281, Boeing 737-800 going to Edinburgh. It is 15 years old. First flight was in May 2008. More Embraers. And the 737 has given the go-ahead. The next airplane is KLM flight 1085 going to Cork. Is it already on the move? It is already on the move. No time to waste. Embraer 175, 5-year-old airplane, first flight February 2018. Larry, mate, good to see you again. Hope all is well. Mark Johnston, good day to you, man, my friend. We're getting another Embraer 175 first. E2 Embraer 195 behind it. Also another CRJ. This is KLM flight 949 going to Belfast. The Irish Exodus has begun. This airplane is 6 years old. Its first flight was in September 2016. CRJ skipping the line, going to Copenhagen, SAS flight 1548. This airplane is 7 years old, first flight April 2016. Right, E2 Embraer 195 going to Glasgow. KLM flight 1475. A 1-year-old airplane, had its first flight in October 2021. Wow. Looks like a gathering of people on the other side. Some on their bikes. Others by car. It's getting a bit more busy over here as well. Not as busy as on some days. We have a cyclist, we have some children. Some pedestrians. The gate. The fence of the Polderbaum parking lot seems to be crowded. Over here on Duck Slab, All is quiet. But not for long. There is some movement on the platform coming our way. A couple of big birds. Also 2 smaller birds. Two EasyJets. In the foreground, on the right, is an A320neo going to London Stansted. Following it is an A319 going to London Luton. Both are taking the entrance to the runway I was standing in line with yesterday. So they take off relatively close by. Will it be doing a rolling start? Let's have a look. Here we have EasyJet flight 27839 A320neo destination London Stansted, brand new airplane, and this one actually is relatively brand new. First flight was last June, so just a few months old, this one. Spooling up, coming our way. Let's listen in. Righty. Hey, Aphrodite. Oh, only 15 minutes to watch the stream before having to go back to work. Hopefully something interesting will come in the next 15 minutes then. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Peter says time is flying. And so too will this airplane in a few minutes. This is EasyJet 22516, Airbus A319 going to London Luton in a few moments. This airplane is 15 years old. First flight, March 2008. Hey, Bisnovat. Different sound, different generation engines. Old school vibes. What is it again? CFM 56. Right. Big Bird is coming. And Big Bird in the Netherlands in Sesame Street is also blue, so that is a nice coincidence. Windsock being brought to the attention in the foreground because of the passing of the blue airplane behind it. Wind still moderate. Last time I checked, the METAR was still north of east, but more or less coming from the east. Going to the runway threshold. Also, all. Going back to Tel Aviv, I think. 777. There you go, already in the clouds. So yeah, we have had a few moments where the sun looked like it was winning from the clouds, but now looking all around, and I'm showing you guys, you can see this back to being fully overcast again. Not seeing any patches of blue sky right now. The only blue I'm seeing is KLM blue. In the distance. This is KLM flight 611, Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner going to Chicago O'Hare. Brand new airplane, meaning it is less than a year old. First flight of this airplane was in May 2023. Now Lars is informing us that the Emirates A380 is also in Dutch airspace. The downside is it is coming from the east. I think 36 right is also open for arrivals, so that means it is going to be landing and arriving from the exact opposite side of the airfield, which means it is near impossible to see from over here. Absolutely not worthwhile looking into it. Unless of course it were to land on runway 06, then we would be able to see a bit more of it. Still not much, because we are already standing at the far end of this runway. Andy Camp, have a good weekend you too, mate, and thanks for joining. Mario, good afternoon, good to see you. Once again in waiting mode for the next air traffic to come this way. I'm seeing an airplane take off from center. Small airplane. Transavia 737. Will it too vanish into the clouds? Sooner or later it will, but the question is when. And the answer is now. Had it been an A340, on the other hand, we would have probably still be able to see it. But then again, we only saw one A340 today, and I'm not thinking we're going to see more. Harry, the Heron, he's back. Also chilling and relaxing. Is it? It's too far from the edge of the water to be doing some checking for food, I'm thinking. Let's see, there are a couple of big birds coming this way. I'm seeing a 777 going to Calgary, Dreamliner to Las Vegas, A330 to Minneapolis, and a Dreamliner to Curacao, 767-400 to Washington. They're all on the move, they're all coming. Delta Airlines to Atlanta also coming. Looks like we are going to see a little exodus of heavies. Now, I think sticking around until then is what I'm going to do. It is another slow day. Also, the connection breakup did not help. You always lose people after such an event. Saw that last week as well. Coming this way is an Embraer 190. Over here, another Embraer 190. This one from KLM going to Copenhagen. Flight 1129. 13-year-old airplane. First flight March 2010. Right, next up, flying for KLM, German Airways, Embraer 190, going to Aalborg, flying as KLM flight 1333, a 15-year-old airplane, first flight January 2008. And Jonas says hi from Aalborg. Well, we're sending an airplane to you right now. Coming up. And hey Frank, goedemiddag. Hope everybody is doing alright. You're watching departures over here at Schiphol Airport. Polderaan, one of the 2 runways in use for departures right now. Oh, I do see a patch of blue sky all of a sudden. Over here, just a little hole in the clouds. Not much, still mostly overcast. Right, so big birds are coming and the front line is formed by these two. 777 to Calgary over here. Dreamliner to Las Vegas behind it. Hey Jerry, good morning mate, good to see you. Alo is checking in from Thailand where it is 32 degrees, bit warmer than over here. Speaking of weather, let me do an update of the ticker. Temperature has certainly increased by now. I'm also curious to see what the wind is doing officially. I was standing here, decided to set up camp over here in anticipation of a possible direction runway usage change, I should say. I'm already seeing that the wind has turned a little bit more to the south, coming from 100 degrees now, so ever so slightly south of east. It's probably going to turn further to the south later in the day. Which means that when that happens, this runway might start getting used for the arrivals instead of departures, which is why I set up here so that I am optimally positioned for both forms of traffic. Quick sip of water before it goes down again. Right, lining up in the distance, KLM flat 677, 777-200, going to Calgary in Canada. It is a 200 ER, 18 years old, first flight January 2005. It might get a little loud, ladies and gentlemen. Noisy buggers coming. Starting off with GE90 violence. General Electric is sending the troops. So there's one little Embraer that has snuck in between, but otherwise back-to-back heavies. We're looking at KLM flat 635, Boeing 7879 Dreamliner going to Las Vegas in a moment. 6 years old, first flight August 2017. Second round of General Electric's troops. This is the GENX. Hey Helene, goedemiddag. Good to see you again. Just in time for the heavies. Well, mostly heavies. Schiphol wouldn't be Schiphol without some Embraers snuck in between. KLM flight 1201 going to Stavanger. Embraer 190, 13 years old, first flight August 2010. Of course, the wake turbulence of the preceding heavy has to dissipate before it will be given clearance. Shouldn't take too long anymore. Seeing that the 767-400 to Washington has also taken a left-hand turn and is coming this way. Alrighty. Oh, look, indeed, confirming that the A380 is going to 36 right, so that is on the exact opposite side of the airfield. You won't be able to see anything from over here. However, this airplane is quite well visible and audible as well. Delta Airlines Flight 163 going to Minneapolis, Airbus A330-300. 7-year-old airplane, first flight April 2016. Hey Ina! Guten Tag! Good to see you again. And Osciel checking in from Chile. Saludos to you too. Thanks for joining from so far away. Glad you're enjoying the show, mate. Also, still early over there. Spooling up, going to Curaçao, Willemstad. TUI Flight 355, Boeing 7878, Dreamliner, smallest of the family. Belgian registration, OLOE, OOLOE. 8-year-old airplane, first flight January 2015. Not the oh no, but the oh no. Alrighty. Another small Embraer. It's like a disease, they're everywhere. Here another one. The stretch 767-400 to Washington. Right. Don't know what's the hold up. And there isn't any more. Has been given the green light. Looks like a second Embraer is going to precede the 767. This would be the Embraer 192 Birmingham, flight 1425. Climbing quite steeply, which you may not see so much when zoomed in, but when zoomed out you can see a bit better. No time to linger. Embraer 175 to Bristol also coming. KLM flight 1051. 5-year-old airplane, first flight October 2017. Well, now it is time for the stretch 767-400. Worldwide, quite a rare plane that you don't see every day. However, for some reason it has been coming to Amsterdam on a daily basis for several months now. So you would be inclined to think that it is more prevalent than it actually is. This is United Airlines Flight 947 going to Washington Dulles, 767-400, 22-year-old airplane, first flight November 2000. Lovely old school engine noise, particularly well audible when you're standing over here where the airplane has already gathered some speed. No, not Dallas, Washington Dulles International Airport. Now the next airplane is so tiny I zoomed in to the wrong area. Embraer 190 destined to go to Manchester. Behind it is a Dreamliner to LAX. Hey, has that crossed the runway or did it cross the runway or has it gone around? Anyway. Aphrodite, fijne dag, see you soon, thanks for joining. Kort maar krachtig. All right. No signs of 747s, eh? Dreamliner 10 taking off from center, going to Nairobi. KLM flight 565. One-year-old airplane, first flight June 2022. And entering the clouds. They all enter the clouds around the same location, assuming they climb roughly at the same angle, then that means that the cloud base is also more or less unchanged over time. K2 has been replaced by K3, by the way. Another one of the bird control vehicles in the Ford Raptor Ranger. I think there are 4 in total, K1 through K4, and at least 2 of them are Fords, and there are also a few VWs. Now, is that Grebe having lunch? It is. What's it chewing on? Let me also have a look on the big screen. I'm already zoomed in fully. Is it a fish? Is it a crab? Fishy. Or little crab. Gook, 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 gook. There you go, down the hole. Well, it is around lunch. It is lunchtime right here, so guess that is the proper thing to do. Is there another Grebe further up north? Yeah. And Harry the Heron looking like he's in the hunting position. Alright, so 2 Grebes, a couple of Coots. Bird controllers also coming this way by the looks of it. Meanwhile, on the other side, another KLM Bluebird is lining up. We're watching KLM flight 603 going to LAX 787-10 Dreamliner, 3 years old, first flight November 2019. Right, so this airplane will probably be visible on one of the LAX streams in, what is it, 10 hours or so from now? I think that is about the flight time for Amsterdam to Los Angeles. Meantime, thank you so much, Cycling Therapist, for your super chat. Is it a fish? Is it a crab? No, it's John Cena. So, let's have a look, see what is coming. Looks like airplanes are crossing the center runway. Or is it just... Right, excellent. Good news then. There's a 747 on the move. Destination Frankfurt. 747-8. Think we haven't seen any Queens yet, have we? Or have I forgotten the one or more that we should have seen already. I think it is the first queen. Holy cow. Right, before that, KLM flight 959, Embraer 190 going to Newcastle. 13-year-old airplane, first flight September 2009, coming our way. Alright, Dave has to go. Thank you so much for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate. See you soon. Big birds are coming. Oh dear, and the 747 is going to center. Man. Those mother... Well... Let's at least have a look at its departure then. Going to Frankfurt, Cathay Pacific Cargo, flight 2068, Boeing 747-8. Now, this airplane is 10 years old already. Its first flight was in June 2013. You can see as it passes by, even being fully zoomed in, it almost occupies the full length of the screen. That's how long these birds are actually. KLM flight 1695, Boeing 737-800 going to Lisbon. Huh. Had the impression that I think the tripod, one of the tripod legs has lowered a little bit. Looks like the horizon is just a little bit crooked. Ever so slightly. Next up is a Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner going to Panama City. KLM flight 757. Spooling up, 2 years old, first flight December 2020. Now, I was actually thinking about wrapping up the stream after the 747-8 had taken off, assuming it was going to come and take off from the Polderbaan, but since it has already left, Alvin, speaking about F-bombs, have you ever seen that spoof of The Sopranos from Mad TV? It's so-called edited for content because it supposedly is syndicated to a channel, a friendly channel. So every time they say F or sh, they go to the next scene. Very funny. So they basically made a full Sopranos episode only last 3 minutes. You should really look it up. It's absolutely funny if you've never seen it before. But if you have seen The Sopranos back in the day or ever. Anyway, looking at what is coming our way. There's an A350 from Delta going to Atlanta, and I think that is going to be the last airplane of the day. All in all, I think I am nearly 4 hours in. Save some for tomorrow. Right, the A350 is coming. The winglets are coming first, revealing the arrival of the big bird itself. Here it is. Roadhog, goedemiddag, good afternoon mate. Pesawatku, good afternoon. Gerrit has to go, thank you so much for joining, Gerrit. See you again soon. And Jerry, thank you so much for your super chat saying, I wonder if Freddie Mercury ever flew on a 747. Nah, was it Concorde already? Yeah, I think he probably flew on Concorde. Or maybe he did fly the 747, probably in first. Back in the good old days. Huh. Not sure what is out there or under the water that is so appealing. Roots or something? What's it nibbling at? Is it the actual flower or the leaf, or are there bugs on it? Oh, Helene has to go. Thank you for joining, Helene. Not sure yet what tomorrow will bring. I think we are expecting rain in the morning, so I'm not sure when I'm going to go out tomorrow. Hopefully I am still able to go out tomorrow. Probably will be very crowded with everybody going out at the same time. Do enjoy the rest of your day, Helene. RDW, goedemiddag. Eduardo, bom dia. Right, in the meantime, A350, the A350 has found its way to the runway threshold and now is lined up. Last airplane of the day, Delta Airlines Flight 75, A350-900 going to Atlanta, Georgia. She's 7 years old, first flight March 2016. And yeah, one of my tripod legs seems to have lowered. Right. In the meantime, it is still overcast. Not sure how much longer we are going to be able to follow the airplane, but let's have a look. Airplane's departing from center already went into clouds around now. Will it do the same? Still visible. Until it isn't anymore. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was the last airplane of the day. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thanks for having found the stream again after the earlier breakup. Once again, not sure what happened there. Think it was another YouTube issue. Happened exactly at the same time as last week, an hour in approximately. So probably another YouTube fuck up. Yeah, so I said it, and hopefully next week when I'm out on a Friday morning, it won't happen for a third time in a row. Looking to go out again tomorrow. Normally I would go out in the morning preferably, but we are expecting an area of rain overnight. Might still linger in the morning, so probably is going to become a PM stream. I will have to look tomorrow morning, but count on a stream later in the day, local time. If you cannot make it, then hopefully I will see you again on Sunday or later in the week. I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thanks to all the people who were so kind to donate super chats, super stickers, super likes, donate through PayPal, become a member, donate memberships. You guys are the best. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly had a blast, with the exception of the connection issue. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.